Ladies and gentlemen, today we embark on a journey through the life of a true legend of the silver screen, a man whose presence was as towering as his 6'5" frame, whose voice could chill the spine or soothe the soul, and whose career spanned nearly 7 decades. I am speaking, of course, of Sir Christopher Lee, a man who became synonymous with some of the most unforgettable characters in film history. Born into an aristocratic family, Sir Christopher Frank Carandini Lee's life was as storied and dramatic as the films in which he starred. From his early days in war-torn Europe to his emergence as the quintessential villain of British cinema, and ultimately his rise as a beloved figure in modern pop culture. Christopher Lee's life was a remarkable blend of reality and fantasy. Early life and background. Christopher Lee was born on May 27, 1922, in Belgravia, London, to Lieutenant Colonel Geoffrey Trollope Lee and Contessa Estelle Marie Carandini di Sarzano. His father was a decorated soldier who had served in the Boer War and the First World War, while his mother came from an Italian noble family. This aristocratic lineage would later be reflected in Lee's dignified and commanding screen presence. His parents separated when he was young, and Lee moved with his mother and sister to Switzerland, where he attended preparatory school. He returned to England for his education at Wellington College, where he excelled in classical studies and developed an early passion for acting. However, the outbreak of World War II would soon divert his path from the stage to the battlefield. Military service. When World War II erupted, Christopher Lee, like many young men of his generation, felt a deep sense of duty to his country. At the age of 18, he volunteered for service and joined the Royal Air Force. However, due to a medical condition affecting his optic nerve, he was unable to become a pilot. Instead, he served as an intelligence officer, working with the Special Operations Executive (SOE) and the Long Range Desert Group, engaging in some of the most secretive and dangerous missions of the war. Lee's wartime experiences were not something he spoke of often, but those who knew him were aware of the immense courage and resourcefulness he displayed during this time. After the war, he was involved in helping to track down Nazi war criminals, a task that took him across Europe and deepened his understanding of the darker aspects of human nature, something that would later inform many of his most famous roles. Early acting career. After the war, Christopher Lee was encouraged by his cousin, the Italian ambassador to the United Kingdom, to pursue his long-held dream of becoming an actor. He joined the Rank Organization, a British film company, in 1947, and began taking on small roles in various films. However, it would be a decade before he found his true niche. Lee's breakthrough came in 1957 when he was cast as the creature in Hammer film's The Curse of Frankenstein. The film was a commercial success, and it marked the beginning of a long and fruitful collaboration with Hammer, a studio known for its gothic horror films. The following year, Lee would take on the role that would define his career, Count Dracula. The Hammer horror years. Christopher Lee's portrayal of Count Dracula in Hammer's 1958 film Dracula was nothing short of iconic. With his piercing eyes, imposing stature, and deep, resonant voice, Lee brought a sense of aristocratic menace to the role that had never been seen before. He played Dracula with a mix of charm and cruelty, transforming the character into a figure of both allure and terror. The success of Dracula led to a series of sequels, and Lee would go on to portray the vampire Count in 7 Hammer films. His Dracula was a departure from Bela Lugosi's interpretation. While Lugosi's Dracula was suave and hypnotic, Lee's was primal and predatory. This new take on the character resonated with audiences and cemented Lee's status as a horror icon, but Christopher Lee was far more than just Dracula. During his time with Hammer, he played a wide range of characters, from the Mummy to Sir Henry Baskerville in The Hound of the Baskervilles, 1959, and even the sinister Dr. Fu Manchu. Each role showcased his versatility and his ability to imbue even the most fantastical characters with a sense of reality. Beyond horror, diversifying roles, as the 1970s dawned, Christopher Lee began to distance himself from the horror genre, eager to avoid being typecast. He took on a variety of roles that demonstrated his range as an actor. In 1973, he starred as Lord Summerisle in The Wicker Man, a film that has since become a cult classic. Lee's portrayal of the charismatic yet malevolent leader of a pagan cult was both chilling and mesmerizing, and it remains one of his most acclaimed performances. That same decade, Lee ventured into the world of James Bond, playing the villainous Francisco Scaramanga in The Man with the Golden Gun, 1974. As Scaramanga, Lee brought a suave, deadly elegance to the role, making him one of the most memorable Bond villains. A resurgence in pop culture. by the late 1990s and early 2000s, Christopher Lee experienced a renaissance in his career, thanks to his involvement in two of the biggest film franchises of all time. In 2001, he was cast as the Dark Wizard Saruman in Peter Jackson's epic adaptation of J.R.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings. Lee, a lifelong Tolkien fan, was the only member of the cast to have actually met the author. His portrayal of Saruman was both commanding and tragic, adding depth to the character's descent into corruption. Around the same time, Lee joined the cast of George Lucas's Star Wars prequels, playing the Sith Lord Count Dooku. Once again, Lee's gravitas and screen presence elevated the role, making Dooku a formidable adversary to the Jedi, music and other pursuits. In addition to his acting career, Christopher Lee was a man of many talents. He was an accomplished singer and recorded several albums, including symphonic metal albums such as Charlemagne, By the Sword and the Cross, 2010, and its sequel, Charlemagne, The Omens of Death, 2013. His deep, operatic voice lent itself perfectly to the genre. And he became the oldest performer to chart on the Billboard music charts. Lee was also a polyglot, fluent in several languages including French, German, Italian, and Spanish. His love for literature, history, and art was well known, and he brought this intellectual curiosity to all of his work, personal life and legacy. In 1961, Christopher Lee married Danish model Birgit Gitte, and the couple had one daughter, Christina. Despite his fearsome on-screen persona, Lee was known for his kindness, humility, and sharp wit in his personal life. He was deeply devoted to his family and was a keen supporter of numerous charities. Over the course of his career, Christopher Lee appeared in over 250 films, making him one of the most prolific actors of all time. His contributions to cinema were recognized with numerous awards, including a BAFTA Fellowship in 2011 and a knighthood in 2009 for services to drama and charity. Sir Christopher Lee passed away on June 7, 2015, at the age of 93. His death marked the end of an era, but his legacy lives on through the countless films he made and the indelible mark he left on the world of entertainment. Influence on modern cinema and pop culture. Sir Christopher Lee's influence on modern cinema and pop culture cannot be overstated. His distinctive portrayal of characters in films like Dracula and The Lord of the Rings has become the gold standard for actors in the genre. His Dracula set the tone for countless future vampire portrayals, while his roles in The Lord of the Rings and Star Wars brought him to a new generation of fans who may have otherwise only known him as a figure from classic cinema. Lee's collaboration with directors like Peter Jackson and Tim Burton also brought him into the spotlight in contemporary cinema. Burton, in particular, was a huge admirer of Lee's work and cast him in several of his films, including Sleepy Hollow, 1999, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, 2005, and Alice in Wonderland, 2010. Burton once described Lee as one of the greatest actors of all time, a sentiment shared by many of his peers in the industry. A gentleman off screen, Christopher Lee was known for his impeccable manners and old-world charm. He was a man of deep intellect and varied interests, who enjoyed discussing history, literature, and classical music. Despite his fearsome on-screen persona, those who knew him personally often spoke of his kindness and generosity. Lee was also deeply committed to his fans. He regularly attended conventions and was known to spend hours signing autographs and talking with fans about his work. He understood that his career was sustained by those who admired his films and never took that support for granted, a legacy of dedication and passion. What stands out most about Christopher Lee's career is his dedication to his craft. Whether he was playing a Shakespearean character or a villain in a low-budget horror film, he approached every role with the same level of professionalism and passion. This dedication earned him respect not just from his fans, but also from fellow actors and filmmakers. Lee's long career also serves as an inspiration for actors who may feel pigeonholed by a certain type of role. He showed that it's possible to evolve as an actor, to take on new challenges, and to find success in different genres and mediums. His ability to transition from horror icon to mainstream film star is a testament to his versatility and talent. Honors and awards. Throughout his career, Christopher Lee received numerous honors and awards in recognition of his contributions to film and television. In addition to his knighthood and BAFTA Fellowship, he was awarded the BFI Fellowship in 2013, one of the highest honors in British cinema. He also received the Academy Fellowship from the British Academy of Film and Television Arts, BAFTA. Acknowledging his exceptional career and lasting influence on the industry, In addition to these formal recognitions, Lee also became a pop culture icon, referenced and celebrated in various forms of media. From his role in Hammer horror films to his voice work in video games like Kingdom Hearts 2, Lee's impact transcended traditional cinema and reached into broader entertainment avenues, further cementing his legacy. Final years and reflections. In his final years, Christopher Lee continued to work in film, never losing his love for acting. Even in his 90s, he was still taking on roles, still bringing his unique presence to the screen. His last major film role was in The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies, 2014. Where he reprised his role as Saruman. Lee was also known for his reflections on his career and life. He often spoke about the importance of discipline, hard work, and a strong sense of identity, principles that guided him throughout his life. He remained proud of his work, but always humble, crediting his success to his passion for the craft and his unwavering commitment to his roles. Conclusion: an unforgettable icon. As we bring this biography to a close, it's clear that Sir Christopher Lee was much more than just an actor. He was a symbol of the power of dedication, the importance of versatility, and the enduring appeal of a true cinematic legend. His legacy will continue to inspire actors, filmmakers, and audiences for generations to come. Sir Christopher Lee's life was a testament to the art of storytelling, the impact of cinema, and the power of a well-crafted character. He leaves behind a body of work that will be studied, enjoyed, and celebrated for as long as films are made. His presence will be missed, but his influence will never fade. Conclusion: an unforgettable icon. As we bring this biography to a close, it's clear that Sir Christopher Lee was much more than just an actor. He was a symbol of the power of dedication, the importance of versatility, and the enduring appeal of a true cinematic legend. His legacy will continue to inspire actors, filmmakers, and audiences for generations to come. Sir Christopher Lee's life was a testament to the art of storytelling, the impact of cinema, and the power of a well-crafted character. He leaves behind a body of work that will be studied, enjoyed, and celebrated for as long as films are made. His presence will be missed, but his influence will never